Intro, boys.
3, 2, 1. Hey guys, what's up? No, I can't. I can't do it.
What?
Google Docs.
Oh yeah, hold on. Do you want to do another test? We can just clap. 1, 2, 3.
Oh.
That should be enough. I mean,
Okay.
1, 2,
All right.
3.
Now I can just.
That was.
that was bad.
Okay. 1, 2.
Should only one person do it?
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
One person. Just one.
One person. Yelling.
1,
Okay.
2, 3.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 1 of the Fizzcast. I'm Cullen,
I'm Zach.
I'm Andre.
I'm Logan. I'm Chris.
and we're the Fizz Kids.
All right. Okay, I guess the first topic is YouTube Rewind.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on that, Cullen?
Well, I actually liked YouTube Rewind in 2019. I don't know why a bunch of people were hating on it, but
Yeah, I saw that. It was kind of like, I don't know. I feel like it wasn't as bad as last year's because
anything's better than last year's.
Yeah.
I think last year's was just really annoying for some
I don't really
reason.
understand the whole montage thing. It seems like a really lazy piece of work to me.
Yeah,
Like, it
but
doesn't
that's
really make
because-
any sense because it's like they through the past years they've kind of had this like live action thing going on with all of the creators coming together, and then all of a sudden they just kind of went towards like everybody else's individual opinion and then based their entire video on like a lazy response towards it. Like they didn't make it better, they just like decreased on how cool it is because it's supposed to be like a montage of the entire year. Well, this is a montage of the entire year, but it's like in a cut video form. So it doesn't really appeal to that whole YouTube Rewind aspect.
I think it was. It felt more like they were just trying to appease everybody. Like they were trying not to give anything that somebody could complain about. I guess besides like the effort put into it, they can't say like, "Oh, why wasn't insert my favorite YouTuber here in it?" In it this year, like why is this part in it? They couldn't just say like, "Wow, that was cringy." They just be like, "Oh, it's a top 10 list," and then that's
Like a watch mojo.
yeah.
They stepped very lightly.
Yeah, they stepped very lightly. I mean, it's possible.
Isn't
that,
it like isn't it doing the same trend of being like another disliked video?
like,
I'm pretty sure it's
somewhat,
already
no.
the dislikes are increasing
The
by like
dislikes.
I have the.
Well, okay.
As of whenever this was created, 2018 has 2.7 million likes and 17 million dislikes.
Yeah.
And the 2019 video has 2.9 million likes and 7.4 million dislikes.
Yeah, it's not as bad, and I think a part of the dislike thing, like there were a large group of people that just said, "Hey, we're gonna dislike this as soon as it comes out." I know I saw on Reddit that there was a whole system where they were going to dislike it without giving the video a view or something. Like they were trying to figure out how to like weigh it in that direction. So I think on that point, it's not very fair to like do that. Like I don't know, it's not very fair to judge it in that way. I think it's being judged on the 2018 rewind rather than what the 2019 rewind is. Like
it still is a lazy piece of work though.
being a lazy video, I think, doesn't make it a bad video.
Yeah.
It
I
doesn't
think-
help though.
Yeah, like they could have done better with.
Yeah. Well, another thing, I feel like, I mean, they can't make people be in their video. It's possible that when they asked people, they were like, no.
So
like the last
they
one was
didn't want it to be
horrible.
so bad.
Everybody in it got like memed on. Like everybody was just ridiculed and all the lines were trash. So.
Well, the 2019 video has been out for 6 days and it has 2.9 million likes, and that's already more than the year.
Yeah.
So
True. I think
like.
I liked it. Well, I didn't really like it. I didn't think it was as bad as last year's. I think when you go back and watch last year's, you realize like why it was bad, and it wasn't just because it was lazy. It was because it was just horrible. Like,
Again, but they're still like moving on from like what they originally planned to do.
Yeah,
Like
well,
they're
I
making
mean-
it kind of like a movie for you, and then now they're just kind of like, okay, well we don't want to put forth any more effort into trying to do that because we're afraid that it's going to get disliked.
Yeah,
And
I
they're
mean-
also basing it around the creators that are not relevant that much.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they definitely did it with this one, with this montage, but it's like the past years you've seen YouTubers that like, the majority of them aren't people that are like relevant to the day. It's just like a bunch of side people that nobody would like necessarily look at the right way.
Yeah.
It's more
Will Smith?
celebrities.
And I think
Will Smith is a side.
I didn't like the celebrity part of it. I feel like they have their own platform that they can use.
I mean, they're also kind of using like in some of the past videos they've had like game show hosts and like late night show hosts and stuff like that. But
Yeah, I think last year especially because they had Will Smith, they had a bunch of just scenes from different talk shows where they're doing like Fortnite dances and stuff, and I don't know, it's just pretty bad. Like the whole the whole thing. You get like a bad vibe from it. I think the way they did it this year was actually good in highlighting the lesser known creators, because they said, like first to 10 million from this country, and like first to 10 million subscribers from like here. So it kind of highlights those people without giving it the vibe that they're unjustly included. That I guess, some people might have said in previous years, like, why is this person I've never heard of in it? It kind of gives you a reasoning, like, okay, these people are on the come up. They're not as established, they're not as popular, but in this certain demographic they are. And it kind of opens them up more internationally. I think a problem they had in recent years is because everybody liked them, but their main demographic was, American, English speaking, and they kind of, I don't know, they didn't really focus on other countries and other places as much.
They also didn't do that like type of thing, because typically all the other ones will have like a moment in the video that's like tributing to like deaths and stuff like that, like important deaths, and it's like this year they didn't even bother to deal with that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have mentioned, from what I've seen, they mentioned that the original like 2010, 2011, I think, rewinds were just basically lists of the videos. I haven't seen them in a while. But I don't remember them, but I know that that's basically what they were. I think, what was it, 2012 was the first big one?
Yeah.
And everybody really liked that, and I think part of that was the novelty of, like, this thing. Like, it was pretty cool as a first try at including all these people together, all these people you've heard of, and making such a large video out of it, I guess.
Yeah.
YouTube is going to be going downhill here pretty soon, though, because of the January 1st and all their new terms and stuff, removing like smaller creators for no reason.
Yeah.
Like their company is just legitimately failing now. It's like they're making decisions and stuff because of all like the other companies berating them about stuff, like they're all their laws and crap.
Where would people move, like creators? Where would they move to? Like, what other platform
Probably
would they move to?
What's the other relevant one? It was like
there's
Vimeo.
Vimeo.
I remember
Vimeo,
Vimeo.
Dailymotion.
Yeah.
What's the other one?
I don't
What's
know
the
what
other?
kind of systems they have for monetization either, though.
I've seen a lot of YouTubers move to Twitch and Mixer.
Twitch,
Yeah.
Twitch could become like YouTube if they had like the not
They had
just
like
streaming.
clip videos
Yeah.
instead of streaming.
They keep clips, right?
They have
for,
VODs.
at least for gamers.
Yeah.
But the
VODs, they
thing
pay
is, though,
VODs.
is that Twitch is, like, their marketing is live streaming.
Yeah.
So,
Also, it's owned by Amazon, so they have to be careful about what they do too. Like,
A ton of streamers are getting like picked up by Mixer, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure brand deals have been in play, like Ninja, for example.
Yeah, I think a big thing about that is they get picked up because they give them like a fixed income, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
That's the,
Ninja has definitely benefited greatly due to Mixer paying him an absurd amount of money just so he moves to that platform.
Mixer's
'Cause-
owned by Microsoft too.
Yeah.
right?
Because when you look at it, a lot of streamers get really big on just one wave. Like Minecraft was a big thing. You saw a lot of Minecraft YouTubers and all the like. If they didn't migrate to some other like game or some other platform to like create videos from, they fell off. Like a lot of them did. It got popular again recently, but
the
for a
Minecraft
while
resurgence.
it was kind of overplayed. And then Fortnite, I think, is a similar wave where like it got really big and it's sort of like less so. And I think the smart thing is to try and find like a fixed income before you run out of that that hype.
Yeah, my God, have you all kind of seen some of these new titles that are coming out? I wonder, kind of like, well, moving on from YouTube and stuff, it's like I wonder what the next big game is going to be compared to like everything, because usually like we finally after so many years have gotten another Half-Life game.
Yeah.
After so long of like anticipation for another Half-Life game.
True.
And it's kind of like
That one's weird though because it's VR only, right?
Yeah.
which is not good.
It's probably going to be a big. Well, they're releasing. Aside from that, they're releasing a new what is it? Creator, right? Like the same thing they use to create like Gmod and Counter-Strike maps and stuff. Anyway, what I was talking about, like they're launching a new I forget what it's called, but it's the platform that Gmod and like Counter-Strike and those games came from, right?
Valve?
What's it called? It's a source.
Yeah, it's the source like
engine.
creation.
Make like your own levels and stuff.
Yeah, you can like I forget what it's like a creator.
Yeah.
Because
They're
I know
launching
there's
that, and that might be really big
I know there's like third parties for like Half-Life and
I
stuff.
think did TF2 come off that, or was that the first Team Fortress game?
Team Fortress was like a mod account. No, Counter-Strike, something like that.
Counter-Strike came off of that. I think Dota, right? Was Dota the one that came off of that as well? You know, there, Gmod, Dota, Counter-Strike, games like that have spawned from that, like that tool. And so releasing another one in the new Source engine, because this is Source 2, right?
I think, yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be really
What
big.
game runs in it?
I think Titanfall 2 is Source 2.
Okay.
I just want to kind of wonder, and it's like, how is the VR aspect going to be in like for major games like this? Are the graphics going to be as high as they normally are in normal video games, or because it's a VR game, is it going to be? Is there going to be any complications with having it to be a VR game? To begin with, I don't know why they chose a VR game for this title, but it's kind of like.
I think what Valve's trying to do is push people more towards VR because Epic Games, I'm like, this is just me, what's it called?
Speculating?
Speculating.
Yeah.
Like Epic Games, it's like gotten into the market and like all the single player titles have been releasing on the store, like Outer Worlds, Control, Borderlands 3. And I feel like Valve is like trying to push more towards VR. Because they made the Aperture Hand Lab, Half-Life Alyx, and they came out with like their VR headset and stuff now too.
I think it's just a
The
more
Index.
interesting. Yeah, I think it's just a more interesting platform to develop for as well. Because it's just new, really.
Epic Games.
It's kind of complicated when it comes to like setting one up though in your household, because you have to have kind of the right space for it, because you have to have all these little blocks that are all over the place to track your movements and stuff.
The lighthouses or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing too, because when they're releasing this game just for VR, they're targeting a really narrow market there, which
and I think
is surprising. But it's at the same time, it's like we know it's going to be big. There's no way that the game's not going to get a lot of coverage immediately. So maybe it's just kind of their idea, as a jumping off point to get people into VR, like a game that everybody wants
Is the
to
VR
play
in the trailers that they were showing, was that accurate? Like, can you catch stuff in midair and stuff like that? Because in the trailer, it was like the people were like throwing you ammunition and stuff, and you were able to catch it. Like, I don't know how it calibrates stuff like that well.
It probably depends on the. I know different VR setups have different peripherals and different ways of tracking. I think Oculus doesn't use lighthouses; it uses the headset itself to map the room. I think the Index has controllers that strap to your hand and try to follow hand movements. So in that way, that could be a way to do that. I don't know if you have to hit a button to grab things.
It's still really nice to see that company, even though it is moving to the aspect of VR, it's still nice to see that they're still taking consideration, hey, we're still trying to push out these games. I mean, even if it is in VR, the trailer blew me away to begin with. Just to see Half-Life kind of come into the world again is just, even if it is a VR title, it's kind of insane just to see. It's like, that's a Half-Life game. Yeah. It's not 3, but it's a close step.
I think the main problem is that people you're paying $1,000 for a PC and then $1,000 for a VR headset.
That's what a lot of people have issue with. But at the same time, I guess it's up to them to develop and release a game the way they want to do it, and if they think this is the only way that they can, they get the drive to make a new game in that universe, I guess it's just what it's going to have to be. I know for me, I've never played the Half-Life games, but at this point, I'm really it's getting me excited to actually go into that and see that, because playing Gmod or whatever and playing Counter-Strike all the time.
It's kind of used a VR headset.
I have not.
He's kind of been on the kick.
The one for your phone, and that's it.
But that game was the one that sent you on kind of the kick of I should probably save up for one just to see that title.
Yeah. I mean, I've been excited for it for a while.
I honestly think it is a very good it just needs to be developed more. Yeah, in a sense.
In a sense, yeah. It's always the issue of how early do you adopt something? If you would have jumped into this in the original Rift in the original, what was it, Vive? Yeah. At this point, you'd be okay, do I shell out $1,000 for this updated headset, and then do you even have the if you had the original Vive, you probably are running a PC at this point that could run it, but it's kind of that early adopters problem. How early do you jump on this, and is there going to be some improvement in the near future that you should wait for before you
Stadia?
Google Stadia.
But
Google Stadia is just, I don't know. I never thought that was gonna work, but I'm also running 5 megabit internet, so
it's the same. Actually, I run 3.
3? Nice.
Yeah, let's get Google Fiber. Man.
I mean, I stayed on hold with Spectrum for like an hour the other day, and then they just hung up. So I was like, hey, can you check if we get it out here? She's like, what is your address? And I said, and I told her my address. She left me on hold and then
An hour.
hung up. Yeah. No, she waited a half. She was like, I guess she just saw like not available, and she was like, just hit the button.
I wonder what kind of like is going to be in the future for like the internet and its speeds and stuff like that, because you have a lot of consumers that are having like very, 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 very poor service when they shouldn't be having poor service. If you're wanting to like for example, if I lived out in the middle of nowhere and I had a good amount of money like on my hands and I wanted to put it towards having faster internet, they should be able to like give them that money, and they should be able to be like, okay, well, we need to make an effort to get the speed out there, or it needs to be more efficient.
I'm sure if you can pay for the infrastructure, they do it in a heartbeat. They'd probably even charge you a little bit more.
Yeah.
Well,
for it. I've seen.
Pretty sure that's what the government did. They gave the ISPs a bunch of money and were like, hey, build the infrastructure.
That's a whole other topic. 'Cause
that's later.
That's yeah. They were like, hey, do this, and they were like, okay, and then they didn't, and the government was like, well, dang.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, like in our town. Just in general, like everybody stops their lines of faster internet before my house.
Yeah,
and I think it's because they're like, well, there's not enough population down there to like.
Yeah, it's the same thing that happens.
There are 4 houses around me. It's me, my neighbor over here, my neighbor here, and there's an old lady who lives here. She doesn't want internet, so I think that's why they're not running those lines.
She doesn't want it.
She's just
it's
like,
not that she doesn't care.
She's gonna go into her yard and like smash it. Like
Yeah.
she's gonna grab a hoe and like.
No, she digs the thing and just cuts it.
Yeah.
No, but like that's what they told us. They're like, yeah, we can't run one out there. It's there's not enough demand for it.
Dang.
Like there are 2 people who play games out here,
2
and you're not telling me that you're not gonna run.
like not gonna make their money back eventually. I don't know
Yeah.
what the costs of running fiber over. I mean, they don't they usually just use like phone lines? Like
Well, it should be decreasing
yeah,
over time.
yeah. I mean,
You would
costs
think.
should be. I mean, I don't know when they put in fiber recently, but
I've had it for like a year,
Yeah,
year and a half,
year.
2.
and that's just down 27. I think they put in better internet, better than 5 megabits per second a long time ago down my road, but they never turned onto my little cul-de-sac or whatever, my dead-end road. So
But instead of me getting fast internet, it's the crackhead house and the old people who get the.
nice.
That's who needed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all where you live.
I
don't
could be
know.
a Fortnite streamer right now, earning 10K a month.
Well, no, you have to record podcasts.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you sue for like loss of income?
Oh yeah.
Sue AT&T, like, hey, where are you?
Where are
Oh
you?
no, it's a Cincinnati Bill.
Yeah.
Ah,
Cincinnati Bell Spectrum. Nobody comes down the road. So.
That or you'll like see him at like that what's it called, the intersection,
Yeah.
trying to work on a line or something. They're always there.
Yeah.
always working.
Doesn't your internet go down like every 2 days? Though?
That's because I have a neighbor that likes to do logging at midnight, and sometimes they cut down a tree and it hits the lines. And
Nice.
that's electricity, but sometimes it just goes out, and then my dad has to angrily like call them, and they'll be like,
They just keep shutting it off at the ISP. They're like, Pennington.
I don't really know what's going on, but I feel like it has something to do with my neighbors.
Mine does the
Just
same
your
thing.
neighbor's
It just
fault.
like,
Really?
Yeah, it just goes out for some random reason. I have to like unplug the router and plug it back in.
Oh, that's really tough.
Yeah.
I think that's just your router, honestly.
Yeah, I think that's just your router. Mine, it's just like
Probably.
everything goes off, even like the phone, the internet.
Oh.
Yeah, everything goes off, and then
That
like,
must suck in like situations where you have like updates and stuff going on that they're like.
I mean,
Important.
just beyond that, just like not having
Just
internet or
yeah.
phones.
Yeah.
I mean, speaking on all this, there's what is it, Starlink or something?
Yeah.
Elon Musk is
Yeah.
launching satellite
Oh, yeah.
internet
Wow.
systems.
Mhm.
I don't know, I don't know anything about the costs on that or anything, but I think it's targeted at like rural communities and
Yeah.
people who can't get fast internet like wherever they live, which is
Mhm.
really interesting. I know other types of satellite internet haven't been very great. I've tried what was it, Dish with the Hopper.
Yeah.
At one
Oh, that
point.
was terrible.
That was pretty
bad.
bad. I think I only had unlimited internet from like 4 in the morning to 7 in the morning.
That's probably prime time.
Yeah, so I would get up at 4 in the morning to watch YouTube videos. Gotta get those Minecraft videos in.
Yeah, I understand.
When I was in like 6th grade, so that was horrible.
The Time Warner
Elon
Cable.
Musk is definitely just he's all over the place
He's just-
with the stuff
yeah.
he's doing. He's really being innovative with this. and trying to make the planet
He's
better.
wilding out. That's all
Yeah,
really
he
say.
is.
He was at the Game Awards last night.
Really?
Yeah.
What was he doing?
Did he do anything?
Was he hanging out with the guy from Rick and Morty and just like partying or something?
No, he's just watching.
Really?
I was
Just in the
watching,
crowd.
and they were just like,
Was he with Joe Rogan just smoking the reefer?
Yeah.
Nice.
Speaking of Elon Musk, what do we think on the newest car to his
Cybertruck.
line for the
Oh,
truck?
okay.
Cybertruck. Yeah.
I mean,
Function overlooks for me.
really?
Really.
I think it's honestly a really sleek look. It's definitely
Yeah, it doesn't
changing
even
from
look bad.
from.
But do you
It's
know how it
definitely
functions?
changing from like.
I really
No,
like it.
but
Yeah.
I
No,
never.
I assume good.
It looks somewhat ridiculous, honestly, but I kind of like it that way. I feel like it's meant to be that way.
Did you ever see the picture of it? Like it was on one of the highways in like California. The thing is huge.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, the thing is
Yeah.
huge.
I did have a tab pulled up. I don't know if we have it on the.
If we can pull that up, yeah, that would be really good.
But anyways, the thing
yeah.
like on the actual street, the thing like dwarfs like cars. I didn't think it was gonna be that big. But, like,
Yeah, it's
it's a big boy.
Ooh, it's not gonna reload.
I
is it?
probably couldn't drive.
I just feel
it,
that
so-
like if someone's driving it, they're gonna get made fun of.
I
I
don't know,
don't
they're gonna
know.
get
I
made.
think
They're
it'd be
either gonna get
pretty
made
cool.
fun of, or they're gonna be like, "Dang, that's really." I mean, what is the average? What was the lowest modification for that car? For the truck?
I wrote it down.
Well, it's pretty expensive. Like in general,
It was.
it's kind of a flex.
The cheapest you can get it is $3,900.
See, that's kind of average price for a
$39,900
for a
So-
vehicle. But I mean, if you're wanting that like 0 to 60
Yeah.
motor in it, it's gonna be like
I think
insanely
that
expensive.
Okay, well I guess the base model like that's not too bad really.
I
Like
think, yeah,
39,000 for
compared
a base model of a car is not that bad. That's like an average Chevy or a brand new Ford.
that is for a single motor rear wheel drive, and that's 0 to 60 in less than 6.5 is what they have on their site here, and that's 250 plus miles range, which I don't know. I guess when you're buying electric, you have to determine that. I don't think we could have an electric car out here. I don't know where you would.
I don't
fill
think
it
we
at
have, like-
besides
I think
home.
there is a few like in the areas where we live, but I mean
within
it's kinda just
250
like,
miles, yeah.
Within 250 miles, probably. I don't know.
They're towards.
There's some at. Is there not any at NKU?
Yeah.
There
are
is some
NKU?
at NKU.
I've seen Teslas at NKU,
Yeah, there are a
but I
bunch
think they
of
come from
Teslas
up
at-
north, right?
Cincinnati.
I saw,
Probably
I
Cincinnati.
saw a Tesla on 27 right out.
Well, you can
in
charge
town.
it at your house, I think.
Well, they were probably just driving through. It's not like
and they're probably just
Yeah.
like
I think
doing
you
this
can-
out of their
I think you can charge it
Window.
at your house.
Sam Hubbard.
yeah, they're literally doing this. They're standing on top and just doing that.
It turned off again.
Yeah. Auto.
In its software, but then some of the things it's completely like blatantly ignoring. I've seen a lot of videos kind of like online of it almost driving into like the sides of
Yeah.
roads and stuff, like and not correcting itself.
Yeah, well-
like it's supposed to.
That's the like. It's called full self-driving, it's plus $7,000. But when you look at it, it says, you click on it, it's like not actually autonomous. You have to like watch it, and I think that's what kind of like what the autopilot was. I don't know why they name it full self-driving now. But like it was basically like it's gonna stay in the lines when you're on like a highway, and then it's not really. I'm not sure how much better than that it'll do, and I think they're like changing it to get better. Like it said, updates will like make it better over time. But it's really weird.
I could just never believe that a software can solely just drive a car. Like considering other people like doing certain things, like
Yeah.
reckless drivers and stuff like that. I don't believe the software can just like instantly click into motion and be like, okay, I've got to avoid that.
Yeah.
Like you can't just be blatantly like looking on your phone or doing like work or something in the car. You have to be like still considering that it's driving by itself.
Yeah, I mean that's what it is now, and I don't think we're gonna get to the fully autonomous. Like, that's not gonna happen until all cars are fully autonomous and they can work together. I don't think I think there's just too much that can go wrong to have complete disregard for what the car is doing while you're supposed to be driving it. So
Well, the thing is like what you were saying before. Like, obviously, it's not on par with the Cybertruck and like autonomous vehicles. But like this semester I programmed like a little like autonomous rover, and you can tell when you can make it do things like using commands like in the code itself. Like you can use a sensor and say, oh, this is within this distance with me, I need to get further away from it until I'm within an optimal distance. You can also have it, well, what if you're just in regular traffic and there's a car right next to you? You don't want the car to like your Cybertruck to freak out and just like slam into like someone else.
Yeah.
So you can have it set up where it tracks its position, and from its position you can find its velocity and acceleration. And if those exceed a certain limit, then you'll know that there might be an accident coming versus just regular driving.
yeah, for sure. I understand all that. I just feel like I think practically people aren't going to accept that for the most part. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're not going to say, okay, just, you just take the steering wheel away from me. Like, hit autopilot and the steering wheel, like, gets sucked up into the dashboard.
Is that actually what happens?
No, but I'm saying, like,
if that actually happened, nobody would be buying that.
Nobody would accept, nobody would accept people just completely ignoring it. I think for now, the only...
Some people do, like, fall asleep.
I was going to say, you see that one guy on the highway that was just, like, sleeping in his car?
That's, like... People aren't going to want other people to do that.
Yeah.
I mean. Like, when they're driving, they're not going to want to be like, trust your autopilot, you're going to get there. At least not now.
I know it's having a lot of parking problems, too.
Really?
Like, there's a lot of people saying that, like, it cannot park in car garages very well because it doesn't take consideration of, like, some of the obstacles that are around it. Because it naturally, I think, will, like, reverse itself to back into the spot. So when certain things like that happen, it's like, there's been some videos and stuff where it doesn't take the consideration of, like, the width or length of the other car. So it will literally, like, scrape past another car just to get into that designated spot. Along with the, like, auto call feature where you can, like, press a button and it'll unpark itself and come, like, a short distance to you. I just don't trust that. I don't trust that it's going to see something like it's going to scrape against somebody else's car or it's going to hit something and not know it. But
yeah, I think little things like that might be easier to control. Like, driving a short distance, going into a parking lot, I think that should be relatively simple. So I kind of agree. Like, it's
like that should be you should not be like, you shouldn't be taking steps towards that because it's like it's simple enough just to do. You don't need to be taking any more, like, okay, we're going to add this feature to do that, we're going to add this feature to do that, when there's literally no purpose in putting it. It just causes havoc for a lot of people.
I think part of that is just to test, like, the sensors, probably, like, try and program in these little things it can do to make sure that the sensors work the way they want it, maybe. Like, make sure that, like, it should be able to, in this situation, see that there's two cars and a parking space and just get in it. You know what I mean? Like,
it shouldn't be.
If it's supposed to be able to drive itself, it should be able to do, like, that's...
But
when you're learning to drive, that's, like, the first thing you do. Like, drive 5 feet, park.
These are all, like, in optimal conditions too.
Yeah, optimal conditions, especially, like, because in the rain, fog, if you can't see.
Well, I was just thinking, like, if you have, like, a parking spot, you have two cars on either side, but if they're straight, perfectly parked. But, like, you have people that tend to,
if you have one of those trucks that just in the middle of the two parking spots for some reason.
Or you have, like, it right on the line, or it's slightly angled. How does it...
Like angled at the wrong position to where the car will think that it's parking itself into a normal spot, but it's actually not, because there's, like, an obstacle that's all of a sudden... Like, it could be parking itself, for example, and what the very back of the line could be fine, but then the car's wheel is on the line at the very front. So it's like when it backs into it, it would just essentially slam to the other car, and then you would have all sorts of problems.
Yeah. I guess it really just does depend on... I guess what they
also none of us have Cybertrucks.
So
we don't know.
Disclaimer: none of us have any money. None of us have any Cybertrucks.
When this takes off, though,
vehicles. I have a 1998. What is it? Toyota.
Self-driving?
No, it's not self-driving. So none of us know for sure. None of us have experience with this. But I just
Tiger
think,
Woods might.
Actually, my dad is Elon Musk.
Really?
Behind the
Does your
scenes,
uncle work at Nintendo too?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, my mom.
I actually need him.
Bill from Microsoft.
I need him to help me catch Lugia.
Lugia?
What now?
Lugia in Pokemon Crystal. Need his help.
You need
his help.
Just shoot your Master Ball.
I gotta find him first.
Oh,
you gotta find them.
I gotta find them, dude.
Lugia or the Master Ball?
Lugia, bro.
Apart from that, now that we've gotten onto the Lugia, talk about Lugia. Nintendo games, anyway. What do we think is the next?
Hold on. Lugia is in the Seafoam Islands.
It's in the Whirlpool Islands.
That's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm a Jin Warner. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you should probably stop.
Check yourself.
So why'd you ask if you already knew the answer?
Oh no, I need to get the silver wing, rainbow wing. I don't know.
You go to the the monastery, right?
What do we think is going to be in next door for Nintendo?
Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about like console wise. Like I really don't understand it. Like I like the new Switch Lite, and I kind of like that. But then at the same time, it's kind of like that was a very poor decision choice just to get people to like pay for that, because they're selling it for $200, and they're essentially, it shouldn't even be called a Switch, because the whole Switch aspect was able to like pull the controllers out and kind of switch between gameplay. But then at the same time, it's like I don't know why they won't. They need to make like another Wii in a sense, kind of like another major console.
People are paying for it though.
The Switch has not been out that long though. Like compared to other
I was
consoles.
gonna say, like, I don't really know if they need to make a new console.
Yeah, the PS4 has been out, like PS4, Xbox One, those have been out for
for a long time.
I
just don't understand why they keep making consoles that are just kind of like more handheld, and they're kind of like wanting you to do between the two.
Well, they're becoming more and more like computers. Like, just get a computer at this point.
Did you see the new Xbox? Like that thing's the size of a computer.
It's like it looks like a desktop tower.
2001: A Space Odyssey.
And I think with the Switch, like the Switch is meant to be a home console and a handheld. But I think releasing the Switch Lite is just trying to recapture what they had with the DS, which was like a cheaper handheld.
The 2DS.
Because they kind of locked themselves into like one console for both, but then they stick at that price point, and you can't really.
They did just come out with another Switch that had like longer battery life, so I guess a few of the little specs in it were like
they had
changed.
longer battery life, and I think they fixed some issues with like jailbreaking it because they had
some of the stuff that are like one of the things I don't like about the Switch. Like overall, the Switch is a really good console, but it's just like sometimes when I'm wanting to like play a game or something that's on my TV, I experience like a huge amount of delay between the controllers and the actual console. Like when me and him were trying to play Smash against each other one day, we would like flick the controller, and you're supposed to dash when you do that. Well, you had to wait for like probably 2 seconds before the actual character would do the movement. It's kind of like the delay on them is so bad.
Well,
I think the Joy-Cons, like, they degrade very quickly, so that's probably what it is.
And also, I think it's because you're holding it underneath the table.
I wasn't holding anything underneath the table because we were in my house. We were in my house, and I was pointing it directly at it because I knew that was going to be a problem. Like I was looking at it and saying, okay, that's the problem.
Okay.
And I was holding it, but it's like I really don't know how like compared to like I don't own a Pro controller, but like the Pro controller would be something that you would like you could consider looking at if you don't want delay. But I can notice delay.
The one thing that I wish the Switch had was more like apps, because you said it was supposed to be like a home console.
Yeah.
But they don't really have like a lot of like home stuff.
Yeah,
like
didn't they just get YouTube or something?
They've had YouTube for a while. Like that's
and
Hulu. Yeah. But like I wanted like Netflix to be on there, and like they were in talks with that, but that's been like years. And
why does it not have an internet browser? Like the 3DS had an internet browser.
It doesn't even have an Ethernet port. So you have to get an adapter for it,
Yeah, so I don't know why they would say it would be a home console and then like take away all those features.
But it was kind of they had they had basically no success with the Wii U. After the Wii U did great, they were like, here's the Wii U, and it was like trash, like nobody bought it basically.
Yeah.
So I guess they were, I don't know. The Switch is a really good idea, and I really like it. I'm not gonna say like it's any bad in any way. I just think that they were trying to release something that was more akin to the DS, where it's just a handheld, you know, and then they could decrease the price, and then it would be another market for mostly kids.
Yeah.
The people who would want something, it's more plasticky, isn't it, and it's more sturdy. The Switch Lite, in a way.
Well, yeah. Back to the Switch Lite. I think what they did. I think why it's called the Switch Lite is because they basically degraded the Switch.
Yeah.
But to still sell it, no one would know what the new one was. People would think it's different.
I still don't understand why they did that choice though. It's like I don't understand why Nintendo. It's like they're repeating their same things. Like they had the Wii and then they had Wii U.
It's like the 2DS.
And they had the 2DS was pointless.
It's like the 2DS. Like they just degraded the Switch, but still made a Switch name on it, so people would still buy it and think it's a Switch.
It reminds me of the DS and the DS Lite. I thought I had a regular DS for so long, but I had a DS Lite.
DS Lite rocked.
It was really good.
Well, I mean, I just think they were trying to open a market for just a lower tier of console. Now that they've closed themselves off by combining their home console and handheld, I guess.
So back to what I was saying, it was kind of like in the sense of having like if consumers that have a larger TV in their households that are like 4K and whatever, and they're using the Switch, it seems like for me whenever I'm like playing a game, it's like okay, I want to see this on a bigger screen and I want to plug it into the dock. It seems like the resolution of the game is like decreased a lot, and it's not as sharp as you want it to be.
Yeah, I think on that point they usually develop for like a handheld like I know Breath of the Wild especially.
That's a good example. Yeah,
I mean when you look at it in the handheld, you're like, wow, this is really great, but you're like, it's hard to see.
Because the 1080p is blown up onto a gigantic.
At least for me, it's hard to see like the UI and stuff in handheld. So I don't usually play it on handheld, but I'll even on a computer monitor, I'm like, oh, that kind of looks not as.
It doesn't look like it as it should, but I mean, you have to give it to them that they're switching between that little tablet as the whole system.
The Switch's screen is 720p though.
I think
that's what they're doing.
That's also true. Yeah.
I mean, some games do run 1080. I know. I think Breath of the Wild does.
Does it?
Maybe. But like, I noticed like with Smash, like the character models, they'll kind of like look poopy, like on the TV, or on my monitor even.
Yeah.
But the Switch, I don't think even like outputs 4K, does it?
I wouldn't think so.
And I think that's what many people are wanting is a Switch that does like 4K.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that would be.
All systems are kind of going towards that. Right.
But see,
more 4K is kind of becoming the standard now.
Honestly, the Switch is more like an indie console. I think, and I think that's mainly not the problem because they're more like pixelated or whatever.
Yeah, which is really weird because I mean, Nintendo used to be pretty locked down with what they allowed on their platforms. I think the Switch was just like a big change from a lot of things because they realized the system they were working with just
the Wii U.
Yeah, the Wii U kind of showed them that what they were doing wasn't working. I mean, I think they received like a lot of complaints at least that they were just remaking the same 3 or 4 games in the same like IP over and over and over again. I mean, it's still mostly Mario and I guess Pokemon, but that was only handheld, so I guess. Yeah, just Mario and Zelda.
Pokemon wasn't just handheld.
Was it? Well,
they had Shadow XD.
The main series games
like
was
Pokemon.
Games
Was it
of Darkness?
Pokemon Coliseum was some good stuff.
But like the main series was handheld.
Yeah, the main series was always a handheld version, which was I'm really excited for actually to play. The Sword and Shield on the Switch. I haven't got it yet, but
it's okay.
Do you have it?
Yeah, I beat it, but I haven't like gone back to it.
When did it go? Or when did it come out? Like,
November.
November. Like a month ago.
14th or 15th.
November.
Oh, shoot.
Did we all see the new Resident Evil trailer yet?
No,
the remake.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, man,
Is it for Resident Evil 3?
Yeah, the remake of the. Yeah.
I've heard about it, but I haven't seen it yet.
They just remade
the second remake. Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, they did just remake too. It looked good. I watched someone play through it. It was very interesting to watch.
But
so what are we thinking on these new consoles that are coming out? Especially the new Xbox looking like a rip-off computer.
Don't pay attention to
2001: A Space Odyssey monolith looking.
Yeah, I'm not too interested in them.
Me
like
neither.
since I've built my PC, I haven't really played.
Yeah, what do y'all think between? Do you think consoles are ever gonna like run over PC, or do you think PC is always just gonna be top of the game?
I think there's. It depends.
Some people like PCs aren't better though.
Yeah.
Like people like consoles more. Like.
Well, the only thing I can kind of see about like having a downside of having PC is just like the majority of games are able to like have hacks in them. Yeah, and most of the time, like when we've all been together playing like Grand Theft Auto, for example, we just had fun getting all the people just randomly in chat be like, anybody want, I don't know, $50 million for free, and we would just run around collecting all the money bags and crap.
Yeah, I think there's always going to be a market for consoles as long as the pricing's there, because they're essentially nowadays they're in an entertainment system itself. They have Netflix, 4K Blu-ray players, and then on top of that they are a game console, and it's probably the number one, the most popular way to play video games is probably on a console of some sort rather than on PC. Just I think that's what it is. Not off like any statistics or anything, but I'm almost certain that nobody, not as many people are playing on PC.
Yeah, and a lot of people get consoles too because of the exclusive games that are on them sometimes.
Yeah.
What did you all think with that Modern Warfare exclusive mode for PS4? That kind of screwed a lot of people over.
Yeah, that was
when that came out.
I didn't even hear about that.
What is it now?
There's a specific. I can't remember the specifics of that, but it's like they released some sort of a mode for the PS4 exclusively for like a year.
It's like is it the Spec Ops Survival?
Something like that. So. Something around the lines of that. But they're making it a year exclusive to PS4. So they're essentially waiting for a new title to come out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then to remove the exclusivity.
Let's be honest.
It's kind of like
nobody really plays those that much.
Yeah.
It's not a huge deal, but I think that one of the reasons they did that is because they didn't want to make the DLC come for PS4 only first.
Yeah.
And so the season 1 that just came out like a week ago, like went to everything at once, which was nice.
You all kind of see that now. It's like every game is going to those seasons now, like
yeah.
having a season upgrading and stuff.
That's so much better than like than buying a new game every year. To just update itself.
Yeah, it's the games as a service model. It's just really really big right now. Fortnite, Apex, to I guess a lesser extent because Apex doesn't.
Fortnite's definitely moving in some of those bigger brand deals too. It's like my God, it's having Star Wars skins in it. Like they just added the Imperial Stormtrooper to Star Wars. That was insane to see.
The dream now, I guess, is to just release a game that you can just add content to and print money from. Like GTA 5, I think, is probably one of the maybe not first, but a really good example of that, where they've been milking GTA Online for I don't know, what has it been, almost 10 years now, 7.
That was 10.
Well, I mean, 2013.
Yeah,
that's not 10 years.
That's 6. I mean, it's 2020 in a month.
So 7.
It's about
that's
7.
Still not 10.
I mean, it's close enough.
No, absolutely not.
Oh my gosh.
It's the end of finals week.
I can't tell time, dude. Yeah. But I mean, either way, they've been basically printing money from shark cards and GTA Online.
Oh,
they just add free DLC every once in a while, and
I don't understand why it's like it took them forever to get Red Dead 2 out, and Rockstar even hesitated to allow PC gamers to have Red Dead because of the amount of people that are going to go in and be like, okay, well, let's mod the whole game completely different to where it's like it seems like developers don't really like PC as much because they all know that there's going to be there's going to be the one group of people that's just immediately going to cheat their way through and they're going to oh my God, Grand Theft Auto is like something that's notorious for that. Being able to cheat and do stuff that you're not supposed to be doing and everything.
Well, for online microtransactions especially, if that's the main way they are monetizing this game through, plus 5+ years, right?
Any of you played Red Dead Redemption 2 on the PC?
I have not.
I have. It came out on Steam December 5th, and it has mixed reviews right now. And the reason is because apparently if you have a controller plugged in when you start it up, it just crashes immediately.
I actually read that today. I was like,
yeah, I did
I was
too.
looking at the sales.
Yeah, and I have it on the Rockstar launcher, and I've never had that issue. So I
heard that it was it takes a really beefy computer to be able to run it. There's a bunch of reviews that I saw that was
I've heard it's poorly optimized.
It's poorly optimized and
well, I mean, they probably changed that by now, but I remember when it first came out. I mean,
I got it when it first came out.
Yeah,
when
I remember people saying it's kind of this is way.
I think it was.
Too heavy.
I think it was. It was iffy. It depended on the computer you're running it on, because some people had no issues. Some people were like, "How is my graphics card is this good? How is it not running?"
Yeah, some people had it overly optimized and it still didn't work. And mine, I have an i5 and that, and it ran fine. I've never had an issue with that.
Didn't it not even run for some AMD computers?
Probably. I mean,
I think
AMD's
so.
drivers have just been everywhere.
Yeah,
very recently, and historically, but. I have we play Modern Warfare, and I'll just get 10-second stutters where it's nothing happens for 10 seconds and then it will come back and nothing happened, and I'm pretty sure it's an AMD issue.
What card do you have?
5700 XT.
Nice.
Yeah. I've heard it has driver issues. I haven't tried updating because they just released the 2020 RDNA drivers, and apparently those are also messed up. So yeah.
Okay, that's something I want to talk about is crossplay.
Yeah.
That's so nice. But Apex Legends has not added crossplay, and it's almost been out for an entire year now. And if Call of Duty has crossplay, then any game should be able to have crossplay.
Minecraft just took a step at that with their Bedrock edition, where everything is now able to be.
Besides Java.
You played Minecraft Earth?
Yes, we have.
Yes.
Yeah, me and him have both.
Minecraft Earth, it's like Pokemon Go, but with Minecraft.
Yeah, I've been meaning to do that.
Yeah, it seems this is probably something that you could go back to being cringeworthy, but it's Five Nights at Freddy's is going towards that.
What?
Five Nights at Freddy's did you all know that the Five Nights at Freddy's made an AR game where it's like Pokemon Go?
Oh, I thought you were talking about crossplay. I'm like, how does that work?
No. It's like you all are talking about the AR stuff, and it's like Five Nights at Freddy's, Minecraft.
I'm surprised they haven't done more with AR since Pokemon Go came out.
I really like the aspect of AR. Just the AR stuff on the phone. That's just weird to me.
It looks a little cheesy. I don't know. It's there's an actual Pikachu right there.
Yeah,
I mean, I played that game.
Yeah,
But
but then like you stick your hand out and then it just starts spinning around.
Yeah.
It's like infinitesimally small,
Yeah.
so like
Yeah.
it has issues.
I mean,
and like
I like the memes on Snapchat from the AR memes.
yeah,
There, like
those
with
are pretty good.
The
what
hot
was
dog
it?
getting ran over by a car.
Yeah.
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 And like in Minecraft Earth, like you have like those things called build plates where you like build stuff, and like you will put those down, and like it just like demolishes like the entire like universe. Like
It does.
I just don't know. Like it's just not optimized well enough yet.
Well, it's in like
Massachusetts.
beta or whatever it is, early access.
Yeah.
Yeah, my classmates thought I was taking pictures of them when I was building a
Yeah.
house.
Nice. Did you just say that you're building a house in Minecraft?
Yeah, I showed her. I'm like, I'm building a house.
It's like, no,
She's
don't
like,
worry,
"Oh, okay."
I'm not weird. I'm building a house in Minecraft.
Minecraft, and they're like, oh, so you are.
Oh, okay. So you are
Oh,
weird.
that would be really
So-
weird in a situation where it's kind of like you don't really understand. Like you're playing it and you're in kind of an awkward position because I've seen him play it when we were in math class.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
And he would just be like looking around, and
I'd
be
be
girls that
like-
are kind of looking at him, or people that are looking around at him, like, "What is he doing?" He's like, "Just playing Minecraft."
I don't know.
Yeah.
It just needs to be optimized. There's going to be updates coming out that will add more content.
Is it only on iPhone, or do you know?
I think it's on Android.
Android gets some
Usually
of those
stuff
major
only
titles
comes
really
out on-
slow too. Android's like,
Yeah.
don't-
That's not.
I know
Android's
Android.
fault.
I know Android.
yeah, I know,
10
yeah, I'm.
Android 10 launched like a few months ago, I think, right? I don't know. No one knows
Yeah.
about Android.
I have Android.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's it like?
It's nice. It's better than iPhone.
Which one do you have?
He's broke his phone
What?
recently.
Which
Actually.
phone do you have?
You broke your phone?
I don't know. I don't know which Android I have at the moment.
You don't even know?
Pull it out.
Wait, you mean like the phone?
Pull out your phone.
Oh,
Phone
my phone's
type?
over there, but
What is it?
I have a Samsung Galaxy.
Go get your
S8.
phone.
Oh,
Which is
Oh,
Yeah.
S8,
Yeah.
yeah.
Go
those
get your
two.
phone right now.
I have a.
See, the problem with that is like, what is it called? Device carriers like Verizon and stuff. They don't like push out updates unless you're like on Samsung itself.
It's just a problem
Yeah,
with
that's-
Verizon, but
Yeah, it is.
You don't like Verizon?
I have AT&T and I don't have any of those problems.
That's one sponsor.
No,
yeah.
no, but like,
Because
see,
I'm always
like-
having him complain about something that's like, yep, I don't have that update yet because
Yeah.
Verizon prevents it.
so
Alright, welcome back.
Welcome back.
We had a problem with the camera. The battery died, so we got it charged up now, so it should be good. Hopefully.
For the next, I don't know, 20 minutes.
We were talking about Verizon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
no, so
Verizon sucks.
yeah,
Basically.
it does. I have 8 gigs of data, and that's it. Once I run out, slow
Essentially,
down.
when talking about their like updates and stuff, it's like they really prevent a lot of apps from updating because of some of their
or they had a
terms
bunch
and
of
whatever.
bloatware.
Yeah.
They just suck.
See what happens is that like Samsung or whoever the Android manufacturer does, they push out an update, and if you have like an unlock carrier device, it goes to them first usually, and then it goes to the carriers, and the carrier adds whatever, like the security patch, and then it takes after like a few months it takes them, and then they release it.
Yeah.
So like, you know, someone's phone will get Samsung 10, Android 10 before yours will.
Yeah.
If you're on like say AT&T instead of Verizon or vice versa.
Isn't Android really bad about like they don't update their old devices?
Yeah, like
They
I
drop.
think the only
support.
Android manufacturer does it is Google.
Yeah.
Like they update them after like 4 years maybe.
I don't.
iPhone does the same.
iPhone,
Yeah.
iPhone. I think iPhone's actually pretty good for keeping old devices, but I've heard they what was it? They throttled them or something for battery life. But
Yeah.
They didn't tell anybody for a while.
They like to
Battery gate.
like make older apps obsolete.
Yeah.
Like if they update to a newer update, they'll say, hey, like this app is not like up to date, so then you just can't use it anymore. Like I'm trying to think of what the name is. It was like Techno Kitten Adventure, whatever. I used to play it, and they update it, and they're like, hey, this is out of date, so you just can't play it anymore. And it was a paid app, I think. So
Oh, really?
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
so it's like, hey, you just can't use this thing you paid for anymore.
Nice.
I remember with Google Play, like they went and removed like a bunch of that's like the Android App Store.
Yeah.
They removed like a bunch of like apps stuff, even ones that I paid for.
Yeah.
Really?
You're not giving Android any credit though, and a lot of respect. They are able to have like Apple is very on top of like you can't use any software that Apple does not already include. Like for example, if you want like a different type of camera app for your camera that you can like take more of an advantage of, Apple will not release that. They won't allow it. And there's like certain things like for example like I don't know.
Like
Like you can download a ton of different photo editing software and video editing software on Androids. You just simply, like Power Director. That was probably the best one out of every phone video editing software for that platform. And it's like they don't offer it at all. They're just very selective on what they release on their app store compared to what they release on
the main
Play
reason
Store.
I won't go back to an iPhone is because you can't personalize the home screen at all. Like
That's
I
it.
only want the apps that, like, I have apps that I use a lot and then apps that I only use like once a month. And I don't want those on my home screen. I just want the ones that.
The only thing I really enjoy about Apple is its ecosystem and how just well it's developed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is.
If you fully buy into it, it's really nice. But
Yeah.
you have to fully buy into
Yeah.
it. You gotta go. If you get a laptop, you want to get a MacBook or something so you can migrate the messaging and everything like that. You want music to cross platforms.
Don't
And
they
it's
have
expensive.
yeah,
Did you see the new?
it's
Did
like
you see,
Everything's
$50,000.
Yeah, $50,000
The
for
like
the
new
new Mac.
computer.
Really?
Yeah, it's like $50,000 for everything. But like it can do like 8K.
wasn't the wheels like 1,000? Like
The wheels
The
were
wheels are 1,000.
the wheels were several
wheels,
$100s.
yes.
Yes.
And then the stand.
The
That was a big
wheels.
one, right?
The
the
wheels.
stand
Oh,
was
the Mac
a
Pro,
lot.
the Mac Pro.
Yeah, it's
I
like,
still think that it's unbelievable that they are charging $50,000 for the highest model of that computer.
Yes.
That is insane. And it's
That's-
like the thing that was making me upset.
it's more
It's
than
like
a Cybertruck.
Yeah, you could buy.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
could
there
buy
is
the
more than a
second-tier
Cybertruck.
Cybertruck.
You could buy 2 Cybertrucks for the price of one Apple computer.
it's
You
kind
could
of
buy
like
the Cybertruck
when I
with
was scrolling through-
self-driving.
You could actually you could buy 5 Cybertrucks.
when I was scrolling through Twitter and stuff and just kind of seeing, it's like, I mean, you all are kind of familiar. Like, you know who Marquez Brownlee is and like Linus Tech Tips and stuff like that. It's just like they are buying it at that price point. When that computer, like when Apple was stating it's kind of like that computer was developed and made specifically for like bigger companies, like movie studios and stuff like that, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's like just the power of the machine was made.
What?
It's just this man is just feasting over.
The main reason of how they're like using their technology and stuff is like that computer was very elaborate with like what it can do, and that's why it's so expensive. But the more that like you kind of like look at that and consider its price point, it's like these tech reviewers are buying this computer having no reason to like back it up in a sense, because it's like they're editing YouTube videos, and that computer is designed and made for like feature films to be produced on, and it's like, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and drop $50,000. I would like, even if I had money that I could spend like that, I would not spend $50,000 on a machine that is not even, number one, you're paying probably half of that cost is just for the Apple logo. The other half is just kind of like, it's just average parts. Like it's just a big quantity of a specific part that causes it to be powerful.
Like, I mean, if you
but
see
The
kind
wheels
of
are
parts-
several $100s. The base model has a radio and
charging
The stand.
$1,000 for a
The
stand
stand,
is
yeah, it's
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Like, how are you?
Doesn't even.
Like, what do these wheels do that make them worth several $100s?
Yeah.
Like, it's mostly just the brand name. Is what the price is.
And like,
But people, they'll buy it for that.
What I've seen,
Yeah.
I mean, just like the tech reviewers, my God, they're
Yeah.
just they're
Hey, Colin,
dropping it like
I
nothing.
guarantee all of this is being picked up on the mic.
yeah, it is. What I see the tech reviewers doing though is that like they're upgrading to the Mac Pro when they have like whatever it was, 2-in-1 Mac was like
They already have
4,000 last
like-
year.
I mean,
But that's their like job kind of is like to
but
test Apple
they're-
stuff.
Yeah, but
show
they're
it
But
off.
they're
buying
like-
it, but they're buying that with their own income that they're getting,
Some
essentially,
of them,
because it's
right?
like they're supposed
Some
to
of them.
review it,
Does
but
Apple
Apple is
send
not
out
endorsing
review?
them to review the product. They just naturally know that, like, for example, like that iJustine girl that reviews the text, she's reviewing it, but then she just posted on her Twitter like a couple of days ago that's like, I just got the highest configuration of the Mac Pro. It's completely obsolete to what their profession is. It's like it makes
not
no
really.
sense.
I don't really know.
Like,
I know
her
that, but
thing
it's
is
like
testing
what
Apple products.
okay, what yeah, but
Like,
what is
she
she going
loves
to use that
Apple.
well,
for?
her name is
Like testing it.
Justine, so
But I mean, I'm talking about like
Yeah.
I know that they're supposed to review it, but it would kind of make sense if they like reviewed it and then return it. But at the same
Yeah, you're
time,
saying
you can
that.
buy the base model of that computer and be like, this is what it is, and you can have the advantages if you have these bigger models.
Well, they got
no, they're
YouTube
dropping
money.
$50,000.
see-
That's what I said. It's like even if I had that much money, I wouldn't drop.
I will say there is a
50K.
difference between the base model and the $50,000 model
yeah.
in performance. Because
In
like
performance, but
you
I
can get
feel
up to like
the value. Is
what was it?
for either of them.
gigabytes of RAM, I think.
Yeah.
But what are you gonna use 200 gigs for?
That's the thing. Definitely.
And like what these creators usually do is just use like their Mac for like what is it, Final Cut, and that's it. Premiere. And they're like, oh yeah, I spent $50,000 on it when they perfectly had like the $4,000 Mac from last year. And it's like, oh yeah, what's it called? It exports in like it exports in like 5 seconds less. It's like, you know.
Yeah, I feel like for the most part, I don't know. I mean, on one hand, if their channel's about reviewing tech, it makes sense to be reviewing, like, you know, getting the actual product, reviewing it. And I think, especially with Apple products, a lot of that value is going towards the look, the feel, and like the overall experience of the actual
Apple products do definitely push the premium. Like whenever you're unboxing an Apple product, you feel like you spent.
You feel like a king.
You definitely pay more for that feeling. And I think that's why it's kind of important when you're reviewing it, you have to kind of get across that part of it because it is a big part of.
It's kind of like when I'm always thinking about, like, he kind of made a point about it, it's like these people already have the top-notch last device.
Yeah.
So what are they going to be doing with that last device that they already have? It's just literally they're going to put it back in a box and put it away.
Yeah, well, Marquise, like, he just buys every new phone that comes out, like, every single one.
But he also has that, like, smartphone awards thing that he does. He's really good about what he knows.
What does he use?
I mean, it changes every time, like, a new phone.
He has, like, 3 different phones now.
I was going to say, does
he
continuously, like, transfer?
Yeah, I carry every single phone with me in my pocket.
Like, he will, like, purposely use one for, like, a week or two, like, so they can make a review on it. But he always, like, goes back to the one he likes the most. The last one I knew that, like, he really liked was the new OnePlus phone.
Oh, that's what I was saying. It's like, does he
OnePlus, that's something we can talk about.
Yeah.
OnePlus is
we need Andrew here for this. Yeah,
well, I feel like
he have one.
I feel like they've gone down a little bit.
Yeah, well,
but still, it's
in value definitely they've kind of upped their price a little bit, and then
that was the thing. They were like the flagship killer.
Did they get rid of their headphone jack?
Yeah,
they did. Okay, yeah. I remember they did, and then Samsung, was it Samsung that recently did it?
Samsung took the longest.
Yeah, but then they did it after they like made fun of everybody else.
Did LG get rid of that headphone jack, or do they still have it? I think that's what LG.
Isn't every company specifically removing the headphone jack?
I remember it was a big thing when it was either LG or Samsung. It was a really big thing when they did it because they had taken so long to do it, and they had talked about how
Samsung made fun of. Samsung always makes fun of Apple for everything.
I think LG. I'm sorry. I think LG like still has it because they like one of the selling points is like the DAC or whatever.
Nice.
But have you seen? Okay, we should talk about like the double screen phones. Have you seen
LG's folding one?
Yeah.
Have you seen LG? LG's is like it's just kind of like 2 phones like together. It's like they call it like a dual screen.
Is it the folding one or is it?
That's the Galaxy Fold.
All right, welcome back. We were talking. I shouldn't say welcome back. Okay, I'm just gonna.
We were talking about Galaxy Fold.
Where we left off, we were talking about the new Galaxy Folds and like folding phones in general.
Yeah, and then Andre had something to say about that. Okay, Andre.
Andre. He just told me what I was thinking about was Galaxy Fold, and he was talking about.
I was talking about the new LG that I just saw. So the Galaxy Fold is like you have a screen on the outside, and you open it up, and it's like a big tablet.
Yeah.
But this one is the new LG. There's like a screen on the outside, and you open up, and it's like two different displays.
Yeah, I think I've seen that actually. Yeah.
So you can like run different apps, like.
Oh yeah.
They have like a controller that can go on like the bottom screen, I think, right?
Yeah, I've seen that.
You can map it to your game on the top screen, like a DS.
Yeah, it just reminds me of a DS.
The LG DS.
It's kind of. What?
Have you all seen the new Moto phone?
No.
Oh, the Moto Razr.
Yeah, the Moto Razr. Yeah, it's like a flip phone.
Yeah.
And then it like turns into like a touchscreen smartphone when you fold it up.
They're like the kings of flip phones.
Yeah. I like it, but it's really expensive. I didn't expect it to be that expensive.
How expensive is it?
Like over $1,000 something.
That's pretty expensive
for a flip phone.
Yeah.
There's a lip at the bottom of it though. I don't like.
Yeah.
I think my finger would get like not stuck on.
Oh, is it shaped like the old Razr phones?
It's like curved.
Yeah. Okay.
It's also got like it's
awkward.
I don't know if y'all ever had a Razr phone. I did back in the day. It was pretty lit. But yeah, I understand what you mean. Yeah. Because it closes but it has a lip here, like a chin, I guess.
And like when you're like holding a phone, you have like the screen at the bottom, but then you have that big protrusion. You have to rest your hand up here.
Possibly.
I mean, I haven't used it. I'm not rich enough to own a Moto.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how it works in like I feel phones have changed a lot since the Razr was relevant at all.
Yeah.
But I haven't used it. Maybe it's really cool.
I just like how Motorola is just coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, we've had this in development
we still
for like 3
exist.
years.
Yeah, they've been making phones. They've just never been like
Good.
big, popular. Yeah. I mean,
Did they just
like
make
they've had some
Android?
neat stuff. They had a bunch of like modular things for.
Didn't they do
They had like a projector on
Really?
the
Wow.
phone, which was nice.
Yeah.
Didn't they do Microsoft for a while?
I feel like-
help Microsoft with their Windows Phone.
Oh,
Right.
yeah. Windows
Windows
phones
phones
were,
were terrible.
That was for Apple.
I forget why they were bad. I think it was mostly just app support, right? Like
And Windows.
and
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. I think from like
Jeez, I'm getting
functionality-
flashbacks of Windows 8.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
The Metro.
Remember, I was painting my room and I was updating Windows 8. Or updating to Windows 8 while that was happening.
Nice.
So that was pretty cool. Oh no, it was Windows 10.
I don't think I ever had a Windows 8 machine. The first gaming PC, I guess, that I built was 2016, and I installed Windows 10. Well, actually, I installed Windows 7 and then did the free upgrade to Windows 10, which was nice. But before that, I had Windows Vista, so I skipped everything. But yeah, like I was talking about, I feel like those kind of weirder types of like smartphones are kind of coming into like mainstream now. Like you used to see the ones like he said with Motorola, they had like projectors on them. I've seen phones that are that are cameras or whatever, like they have lenses you can attach and all these like weird peripherals, I guess.
Have you seen the Moment cases?
Moment?
Yeah, they have like a thing on like the case, and you can screw on like a lens.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
You have like anamorphic, telephoto, stuff like that.
Back on the kind of the topic of the Razr phone, aren't Razrs the only phones that have the higher refresh rate for a phone screen rather than any other
I remember
phone
Razr?
screen? Yeah.
Yeah.
Razr's the one that have higher refresh rates for kind
I
of
think
like.
Asus made a Republic of Gamers phone.
Yeah,
RNG
yeah,
phone,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it also
2 of
has
them.
higher resolution.
Never heard of it.
2 of I've heard of. Yeah, I saw the second one. I mean, I think they're pretty similar, aren't they?
I guess.
The new one's just a new version of that. But yeah, I feel like, I guess they've hit a part of like, because phones haven't gotten much different, I guess, in a couple years. Like they used to be getting better and better, and you would see like a marked difference for a long time in smartphones. But I feel like recently they're just trying to add better features and make the phone look more, I guess, fully complete. Like if that makes any sense. Like they're trying to do like edge-to-edge displays. They're trying to like under-screen fingerprint readers, stuff like that. And I feel like what's it called? Performance hasn't changed in a while. Because I mean, I still use like iPhone 7 from how many years ago, and I haven't seen any problems with slowdowns or anything. Like nothing I do has taken a hit from it being years old. So, and I've heard.
I feel that.
Yeah, I've heard 6S's I think have the similar like, because I don't think there was much of a difference between a 6X. A 6S, I mean, in a
The
7.
6X.
Yeah.
That's what I have as a 6S.
Yeah.
I haven't noticed any problems with it. It still runs fine.
Yeah, and I feel like prior to that, like from the 5 to the 6, they changed displays and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that was the big thing. And nowadays, I don't think
They just keep
people-
taking steps towards their cameras.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're making smaller increments, and I feel like the notch was almost like.
The notch altogether just needs to be removed, I believe. Like
Yeah, I
it's
feel
really,
like-
but I mean, it's kind of like it's Apple's trademark type of thing. Just
Yeah.
like having a home button that replaced the home button essentially.
Yeah,
To like let you know it was an Apple
it was
product.
just really weird. It was almost like they were trying to force change too early because they couldn't figure out anything else to fix. Like they couldn't up performance any more than it already was. The screen size had met like a sweet spot, and it was 2 options. So if you wanted a bigger,
What was the last flagship Android that just came out?
S10, Note 10, right?
The S10s,
Well,
I think, are what they
The
are.
Note
The
10.
OnePlus.
What
I
was
think
it? The
was-
OnePlus?
No, the Galaxy S line. What was
Well,
the
that's
last
not
one?
not Android, but like
Okay,
well,
Samsung line, Samsung flagship.
they
the
had
Note
the
10.
S10.
Okay,
Was it
because
the
like
Note 10?
I believe the
Yeah, it's
S10
Note
has
10.
done a better job at like making the full screen all like display rather than Apple has, because it's like they have made it to where it's just that dot, and there's even wallpapers that made specifically to hide it in a good way.
Does the S10 have that the display that kind of curves back, or is that?
Okay. Yeah, and then their equivalent to like the XR, I believe, doesn't have that. So
it's just flat display.
It's just flat display.
Yeah. There's companies working on phones now to where like the camera's underneath the screen too.
Yeah,
that's unbelievable. I don't see it
that's probably the next big one. Right now, I think the most recent camera like idea is to just mechanically pop up from underneath.
Yeah.
I know there's a few phones that have done that to remove the notch, but I feel like under the screen is really where it's like the final evolution of that.
Yeah.
Really.
But I think the reason Apple's still sticking with the notch though is that like the face scanner.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Yeah.
Face ID is just like too much stuff to hide under the screen.
The Face ID, I think,
And I think Apple is like
kept
too
them back
scared, or not scared, but
It is pretty
doesn't
impressive on
wanna
how
do the-
fast the phone unlocks, though, with knowing your face, because it's like it's almost like.
Yeah, you all have newer iPhones, right?
I have the 8.
You have the 8, and you have the
XS.
XS. Okay.
It's a bunch of XS, yeah.
Well, we're kind of running low on time, so we should probably move on to like talk about the Xbox again.
Back to the Xbox.
I mean, that's a big
Series
topic.
X.
So yesterday, December 12th. I
Game
think, right?
Awards.
The Game Awards.
Today's 13th, so yeah.
Is that when they
yesterday.
announced it? Was that?
Yeah, it was
Game
at the Game
Awards.
Awards. Or like,
They announced the new
Out of nowhere.
Xbox Series X, which I don't know about you all. That's kind of a weird name. Like, it doesn't really roll off the tongue. But I think it might allude to something bigger because it's called a series now, and it might just be like an Xbox series of consoles.
I wonder if it's gonna be
What
Series
happened
XL.
to that Scorpion? Didn't they have like a?
Like
XS.
that's the next
the Series
one.
XS is gonna be Apple. XS Max. Series XS Max.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they kind of did it like, I mean, both PlayStation and Xbox had, what was it, mid-cycle refreshes, or not refreshes, but mid-cycle consoles where they had the PlayStation 4 Pro and the Xbox One X, right?
Yeah.
I think the name of Series X might kind of be like an allusion to that idea that it's not just one console, it's like a series of consoles that are going to be coming out of the Xbox.
It's kind of weird. I do like, for some reason, it's like the design is really attractive to me, how they're doing that design now, because it's like that would just make it look like it's made for this age now, with everything being like futuristic looking and stuff.
Have you seen like what they think the PlayStation 5 is gonna look like?
No.
It has, it's like the box, but then has like a dip in the like front half. It just like dip like that.
So this is what they think it's gonna look like. Is this just
That's what
speculation?
they found like
speculation.
developer
Okay.
versions, and that's what the developer.
thought
We'll
they
have an
were
image for you guys on that now, so.
Yeah, we'll throw an image up there so you can see that.
I just thought it was like.
Well, it's been the show notes.
By the time we get this uploaded, they're gonna announce the PS5. So.
I just thought it was weird. Like they were just speculating, like it's gonna have a dip. Like,
Like that's what the
like what is that? Like does anyone know why?
I didn't hear any
No,
speculation of the new Xbox before it was released. Have you like?
Oh, well, see, that's the thing. It's kind of like
Well, the
I
thing
don't
is,
hear
no one
much
cares
on
about
Xbox.
Xbox.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
about PlayStation.
legitimately, yeah.
Yeah.
Xbox died after the 360.
Yeah, I mean,
I think-
Xbox doesn't really have exclusives anymore, right?
Yeah, because
Not
it's all on
really.
PC now.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think the main thing to Xbox, what's keeping it going, is the Game Pass.
Yeah, people talk about the Game Pass a lot. I don't like. Isn't it like $5 a month or something?
Something
and you
like
get,
that. And then they have
I remember the
premium
Outer
for like
Worlds.
10.
For 10.
I'm pretty 10 or 15. I don't know.
He doesn't know.
I don't know. We'll put it on screen.
Yeah. But yeah, it's slated for release holiday 2020. And apparently, the 360 came out in November in 2005. Xbox One came out in, November 2013. So most likely around November release date.
Yeah. And the nice thing about that is that's when the PS5 is going to come out. It's like
I mean, they
the
always come out,
PlayStation
like-
has to compete with that. Like they can't like wait a year on it, or else everyone will move to Xbox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, let's hope they don't bundle a Kinect with it this time. Yeah, because that was that was
So,
rough.
what about the specs?
Oh yeah, the rumors of that. Okay, so there's rumors, not really anything released besides that it's going to be in Zen 2 and RDNA. So it's going to be AMD CPU and GPU, which is pretty exciting for me. I think because Zen 2 is really good. Like it's a really good lineup of processors compared to what they have had originally. And I think AMD's been in all of the consoles recently.
Yeah.
Right? So, but the rumors is that it's going to be a 8-core CPU at about like 3.5 gigahertz.
Wow.
which is interesting. I don't have the specs for the older consoles, but they had I think they didn't get anywhere near 3.5. I think the PlayStation 4 was like 1 point something. I don't remember the original Xbox One. The Xbox One X is actually 2.3 gigahertz on an AMD customized Jaguar chip. So I think it's going to be interesting seeing what we get from there.
Well, supposedly it's supposed to get up to like high refresh rate.
Yeah.
And I think processor in it on the original Xbox One was a 8-core processor.
Yeah,
it had 8 gigabytes of DDR3 RAM.
Yes.
Its floating point performance was 1.3. Its network was 8. Had a peak of 802.11, and then knowing it would be the width is 13.1, the depth of it was 10.8, and the height was 3.1.
3.1 what?
Inches, all of its inches.
About feet. But I think the main thing for like the high refresh rate is that they're future proofing, because Samsung just announced like they have a high refresh rate TVs that are coming out.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty cool.
And I think a lot of it is that that increasing parity between the PC and the console gaming space, because I think PC gaming has been about high refresh rate, high
graphics
high
quality.
high definition. They've been kind of about that high refresh rate for a little while, and I think bringing that to consoles is probably important for those people who do game on PC and have the same because when you compare a PC and a console port, a lot of the times you're like, okay, but what frame rate does the console run this game at? And a lot of the times it's pretty low. I think the I don't even know, GTA or something on the original Xbox was probably only 30 or less.
it was when it was certainly 30.
Yeah. And it's kind of weird how over this generation we've gone from console generation, we've gone from 30 FPS as being acceptable to try and go for 60 or above, or high refresh rate, stuff like that. But yeah, apparently this is official, according to the news site that I used. I'll link that in the description. It's variable refresh rate, 8K capability, and a possibility of 120 FPS, and I think that's at 4K. So
interesting.
Maybe at 4K, but yeah, definitely going for a high refresh rate capabilities, and these have to last years. So it makes sense if that's the direction that gaming's going.
All right, so we've been going for a while now, so we'll probably wrap it up here.
Yeah.
Anybody else got anything to say?
I think
my boy Juice WRLD.
Juice WRLD.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Juice WRLD. Younger than I was, which is
really
rough.
weird.
Yeah. It's not,
I didn't
not very
realize
cool.
he was less than a year older than me.
Yeah. I saw his birthday. It was December 8th, 1998.
Yeah. Wow.
And my birthday is November 9th, 1998. So about 1 year younger than me.
How's it feel
Not 1
that
year,
he was
month younger.
so much more wildly successful?
Oh yeah, Billie Eilish.
Yeah.
She is. I'm 1 day older than her.
Really?
That's crazy.
She started really young. She was 13.
What?
I'm 1 day older than her, and she is made billions. I'm sitting here doing a podcast. I'm joking.
No, well,
We're about to make
this is gonna make you trillions.
Trillions. We're all
think,
trillionaires.
I think in general it doesn't really bother me, because it's it happens. I think in general the idea of these people around my age getting successful is kind of oh dang, I'm getting old.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just is kind of weird seeing people that have died, and they're yep, they haven't even lived as long as you have, and they're dead.
Yeah.
So it's right, and at the what level he was at, it's really
But
a weird thing.
I just it was kind of coincidental. There was that trend on TikTok a few months prior where they would have seizures to lucid dreams.
Yeah.
That was.
I didn't know that was a TikTok trend, honestly.
Yeah, and then there was also his tweet from 2017 where he said he wanted to blow up, get really famous, and then fake his death after a little bit. So.
Well, I mean, if you listen to most of his songs, I feel half of them talk about
overdosing.
Dying. Yeah.
Overdosing, death. I mean, they go pretty hard though.
It wasn't that of the speculation that he did overdose, and that caused him to have a seizure, because when he landed, he would have been in so much trouble over something.
Yeah.
I checked the wiki. I don't know how accurate this was. It had a link to an article, so I'm not going to say this is what happened, but allegedly, the pilot told whatever airport they were landing at, that they had guns and like a ton of drugs on the plane, and he was trying to apparently hide the drugs, like some of the drugs, by just taking a bunch of pills, and he had a seizure. And apparently this is probably accurate. 2 doses of Narcan didn't help. So
how did they get the guns and drugs on the plane?
That's what I was wondering.
I'm assuming they had to get through security.
I mean, was he on a private jet, or did he charter a jet?
I don't know that.
I mean,
if that happened, then maybe that's why.
I would assume.
But why would they report that?
I would assume he like hired someone. It said the pilot. I don't know if it was the pilot. I don't know if the pilot would be like, yeah, come on my plane with all these guns and drugs, or maybe he didn't realize what was on on his luggage. Maybe they started popping it out, and they were like, oh crap.
Oh.
Well,
sure.
It was 70 pounds of weed. 70 pounds is a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think weed is a very dense substance, so it's kind of like you're gonna be carrying.
That's noticeable. How about that?
Yeah,
that's
it's
pretty
very
noticeable.
Yeah. So it's possible they were just.
Yeah, according to CNN, luggage from Juice WRLD's plane contained 41 bags of suspected marijuana.
So was his plane, or was it? Did he like hire the pilot, and the pilot did this?
It doesn't say that.
Well. All right, so the camera died again.
Yeah.
Sorry about
just
that.
to wrap it up, rip Juice WRLD.
Yeah.
We're out of time now.
Yeah.
So.
We're going to be uploading a lot more content, so keep up today with us on our Twitter, and make sure to subscribe and leave a like. Links will be in the bio down below.
Yeah. Leave some comments. I think that's
telling us what you want to talk about in the future.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Maybe next time we'll have like the PS5 will be announced. We'll talk about that like alongside the Xbox.
We're also gonna
camera that will die.
Yeah, we're gonna fix the camera issues. Also, we're gonna try to get on Spotify. This is a podcast.
And we're probably going to try to get a better area to do this in.
Yeah.
Got all of our gang back.
We got all of our sponsors in the back. If you want to know, we have the
with
Bud
Starburst too. We're with Starburst too.
Bud Knight, specifically Sam Hubbard, not the Bengals. Just Sam Hubbard sponsors us. Ryan Blaney and also Tiger Woods in the jungle back here. These are all of our sponsors.
And the Bud Knight.
And we're sponsored by Wyatt Supermarket. Thanks to Wyatt Supermarket for giving us this storage area.
Well, all right.
All right, so it's the Kidz signing off.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.